Welcome to Our Healing Voices, episode 44.22. I'm Aaron Lahman. And if this is your first episode, welcome to this podcast. Welcome to this YouTube channel, wherever you're joining us today. And sending you big love for the journey that you're on and the journey you're walking in. For those of you who are brand new, this podcast was launched in the spring of 2020. So 3 years ago now, which is so wild to me that it's been a few years. I started the podcast with the hope to increase the conversations that we're having with ourselves and also increase the number of conversations we're having with others. Because for me, one of the reasons I came to the planet is for body, mind, spirit, wellness, expansion, and learning and healing. And sometimes I really feel like that's one of the reasons all of us came here, was to learn and grow together, heal together, shift generational patterns together, let go of old stuff together. So that's one reason I started the podcast. I typically do interviews, and so I'll interview a variety of people, lots of wellness folks, but also just everyday humans who are on this journey of healing and transformation and learning and discovery and adventures. And the reason I'm interviewing other people is because I just have a fascination with others and fascination with like hearing other people's stories. I feel like there is gold in every single one of us. And when we listen to other people tell their story, we grow in empathy. Yeah. We grow in empathy for that person. And then two, we also, as we get to know someone, that empathy that comes to us then leads us to just want to love that person rather than judge that person. And I've taken a little bit of a break. Those of you who have been Our Healing Voices podcast followers or subscribers here for a while, thanks for your patience, as I have been walking through probably the hardest time in my life, having said goodbye to my mom. She took her last breath a little over 3 months ago at the end of November. And so it's just taken me a little while to, I had a couple episodes, 45 and 46. I already had done the interviews, and I just have struggled to share those and to get back into the flow. As I'm like learning and doing a lot of personal healing and grieving right now. So again, thanks for your patience with my process. I decided to do this 44.22 because I thought it would be helpful for me to just share a little bit about kind of what I'm experiencing over here on the grief journey, on the grief train. And perhaps it could be helpful for you. I think it'll be helpful for me to just process aloud and share a little bit about how I'm doing and how I'm feeling, and what this process has been over the last 3 months. So, again, if you're brand new, thanks for joining. Really glad to have you here. I'm going to share a little bit about my last 3.5 months of saying goodbye to mom. And I don't really have a plan. I really don't have a plan. I was thinking maybe I'd share my screen and you could see some photos of her. Perhaps we'll do that at the end, just to show you who she was and who she is to me. Because I am missing her terribly right now. And I'm missing her terribly right now. And I really, I know there's a lot of books out there about grief and how to grieve and how to walk through hard times in our life, right? I think I'm struggling. I'll just share one of the reasons I'm struggling is like, I was obsessed with my mom, like obsessed with my mom and who she was. Um, the Our Healing Voices podcast does not exist without my mom in my life. You know, um, it just doesn't exist. My mom gave me permission. I don't know about you, how you were raised, but a lot of us were raised in pretty box, and I was raised in my own box of family learnings, family expectations, family norms, right? So we were all kind of raised in these boxes where we've got all these downloads, right? I got these downloads from my mom, my dad, and and so my mom in this last 15 years, probably, as I left college, I'm 41 right now. As I left college at 22, I started reading lots of books and exploring outside of like the box that I was raised in, which is more of like the Jesus Christianity world. And I'm so grateful for that upbringing, and also this last 15, 20 years of like expansion and just awareness shifts that have come to me. And my mom like gave me permission to explore. She gave me permission to explore. Let me talk to her. If she were here right now, she just would want to listen to me, listen to what I was walking through, listen to how things are going, listen to what feelings I'm feeling. She was just one of the absolute best listeners I've ever met. And so I'm really missing her listening right now. Really missing her listening. So this podcast, Our Healing Voices, was like birthed because of this, my mom's intrigue, my intrigue. We both had this like, and not to say my brother, sister, and my dad don't have similar intrigue. They actually do, but mom felt like I don't know, she felt like like we locked arms, and like we're really excited about learning and healing generational stuff, right? So, mom was raised a certain way, beautiful parents. I loved my grandparents, and also I think we can all look in the mirror and say, oh, they could have done this differently. Or what if they had changed this? Or this would have been a better option. Yeah. That habit that I observed as a child, right? That probably has impacted me in a negative way, right? We can all, if we're honest, like look at our family systems and say, yeah, I know they did the best they knew how, given the training that they got, right? I know that. And also, they could have done a lot of things differently. And I think we can all admit to that when we're thinking about our family systems. And so mom was just bound and determined to heal generational stuff, to heal generational patterns, to let go of fear and anxiety and expectations. And just had this openness and this warmth and this, and not to say her parents didn't have that. Her parents had that, but she's recounted that when she was a 10-year-old, she looked in the mirror and said, I'm going to do this better. I'm going to do this better than how I'm being parented right now. And so, and I'm just take a moment right now and just acknowledging that my grandparents and my mom and all my ancestors are hanging out in this room with me right now, and that they all did the best they knew how. They did the best they knew how. My mom did the best she knew how. She did the best she knew how. So as you think, as I'm thinking about 69 years old, my mom died at 69 years old. She never smoked a cigarette. She stayed away from toxins. She did all of the things, she ate pretty dang well. She took very good care of herself compared to like the average American story, right? And so it's been really hard, a really hard swallow because, it's like you think if you do A, B, C, D, like boom, you're going to get E, A, B, C, D, E. E is going to be the next one, right? But for some reason, like instead, she got a stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis, a genetic RET mutation. Right? Thanks for listening to me right now. I know this might be raw for you. It's raw for me. And I just appreciate your listening. So she got a RET mutation diagnosis after being so intentional her whole life to like steer clear in a lot, in so many ways, steer clear of that which would not serve her body, And so it's just been a very hard swallow, the diagnosis one, and then moving into where where she's now no longer in her physical body here. And it's like, you got to be freaking kidding me. You got to be kidding me. This is not okay. This is not okay. Like, I'm frustrated that she did all these things and then boop, she's no longer here. And so I think the learning, that's my vent. My vent is like, that's very frustrating. Like, it makes me so sad and so mad that she's not here, But then I know the learning is like, there is no perfect path, like there is no perfect path. There are no guarantees, and again, a few years ago, again, there are like lifestyle habits. There's research, right? There's lifestyle habits that increase one's longevity, right? There are lifestyle habits that increase one's longevity. So many of which mom was very intentional about. And so, it's just this like, what? So we know that there are these lifestyle habits that if we practice them, we're bound to live longer, or we're bound to live a full and lengthy life, right? And yet there is no perfect path. And yet, and not that I thought mom was living perfectly, right? I'm not living perfectly, not that I thought she was living perfectly. Yeah, but this journey right now of sharing is a trip, because I'm sorting through as I'm sharing what it is that feels appropriate to share with you, just in honoring my mom. I guess I'll just share this, because we spent a lot of time in that last 16 months together, and we would do I did lots of treatments on her, massage and energy work, and also workouts and end of the night massages on her body. And I guess I'll just say like three things that we focused on, and that can kind of give you a perspective, right? So for me, lung cancer, right? Lungs. Again, there's again different philosophies, yeah. But there's philosophies out there that say like lung cancer is that we hold grief. Unprocessed grief can sometimes show up. I've also heard that cancer can come from like an anger, withheld, like suppressed anger. Okay, those are those are possibilities, right? And again, if this is brand new to you, that like emotions can then show up in dysfunctional ways, or can impact the body in like really, really, really hard ways, then take what you love, take what you resonate with, and release whatever doesn't resonate with you. So anger, grief. For me, when I'm just thinking about breath, I'm thinking, okay, permission to breathe. Permission to slow down. We spent a lot of time in that last 16 months just slowing down together. right? Sometimes when we get on that hamster wheel of life, it's just go, 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 nonstop. Yeah, nonstop. And so we were really focused on slowing down, like getting back into tummy breathing, like back into our bodies. Yeah, because so much energy can be up in our heads, and we just be so mental and intellectual and psychological and just all up here. And so we spent a lot of time, we were just focusing on being in the present moment, getting back in touch with our breath in a new way. And yeah, we did a lot of just like looking at plants together. As I'm looking out the window, I'm looking at a plant that Mom loved to go and watch like grow as different little these huge leaves, but they would like unfurl, and it was this new life, and she was visualizing that as like her lungs were becoming anew as well. And so yeah, we spent a lot of time focused on slowing down, breathing deeply, not needing to have 47 things to do per day, like getting off of the hamster wheel, right? To slow down, to rest, to rejuvenate. I gave Mom a visual during one of my treatments with her that she and I both resonated with. And it was this idea that if we're all a part of this like web of love, energy, we all know that we're like infinite energy. We're all connected energetically, right? Yes, this is empty space, but in actuality, this is energy. This is a lot like vibrant and alive around me, right? It's like not just empty space. And so we're all energy. And so I had this idea of this web of love. Probably not a new idea, but it was an idea that came to me during a treatment. And we said, we each have like a couple ports. And so like one port is like the give, right? We're in this web of love, and we're in this like give mode, give, right? And then this other port is the receiving, right? So we're giving love, we're receiving love, we're giving love, we're receiving love, we're giving love, we're receiving love. And what I was really focused on with Mom was like, you've been giving, you've been giving love, like in wild, amazing rock star ways, right? Just giving love. And now now is your turn to refuel. I said you get to spend the next 20 years just refueling, like receiving the love. You've given energetically so much. And not that she didn't receive a lot. She did. She's, lived a very full life of give and receive. But I think sometimes she spent put more energy into the giving and forgot to rest, forgot to take deep breaths, forgot to slow down. And again, Mom, I know you're in me and with me right now as I'm sharing this. So, you're welcome to chime in, bump me if I'm sharing too much. But so anyway, yeah, lots of genetic mutation, lung cancer, stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis, never having smoked a cigarette. You're like, what is going on? This is crazy. How is this possible? Now she's no longer in her physical body. And it's like, okay, what in the world? So a lot of, as I've been grieving, some of the processing is just like, that it doesn't feel fair, right? That somebody will like chain smoke until they're 91 and then die, never having gotten cancer, and then like my mom sitting over here, and she's, been this beautiful entrepreneur, educator, counselor, mother, sister, aunt, right? Grandma. And she died at 69. What is going on? So this has been part of my processing and as I'm adjusting to life without her. So I bounced from like angry to then being like, okay, well, this is like, I'm angry that this happened. And also, this is like a new awareness where I could do all the things, right? I'm 41. I could do all the things and I could still die at 62. I could still die at 65. I could still die at 55. Like, there's no absolute guarantee. Yes, there is research that says the healthy, the more positive, healthy choices we make per day is so huge. Last two pieces from that, just that little segment is rest and digest. Mom and I spent a lot of time talking about rest and digest, right? Which is that same thing, right? Breath. Because fight or flight, I don't know if you can relate to me on this, but sometimes I think there's lions outside of the building, and I'm like, dude, you're good. Like, you're good. You're just writing an email right now. There's no lions out there. You're just leading a workshop tonight. You're like, there's no lions out there coming to get me. And so I think so if we're thinking about rest and digest and fight or flight, right? The ideal for our immune systems, for our bodies to function at full strength is to have stress isn't bad on occasion, right? Fight or flight here and there, or not even fight or flight, but just stress it's not a bad thing. And also rest and digest. We have to have more time and energy spent in the rest and digest land. So we spent a lot of time focusing on rest and digest and deep breaths. Yeah. And again, I think I'm going to stop, we were doing a lot of searching, like I initially sent her when she got diagnosed, I initially was like, oh my gosh, like this is like cancer showing up in your body is like generational stuff. This is not even this isn't your cancer cells. Like, this is like generational ancestral trauma, and you happen to like it's showing up in your body. So again, I'm not going to overshare on that front, but I just wanted to give you a peek into like how my brain is processing just the fact that like this healthy, powerful entrepreneur, loving mom and grandma and friend and sister and aunt and what, like she got cancer diagnosis, stage 4 cancer diagnosis at 68. What? Or yeah, I think she got it at 67 and then she turned 68. So it's like, anyway, so here's to the journey of not knowing and the unknown and the mystery. I have to continue to let go of this guarantee philosophy or this perfection focus and realize that there's mystery. There's mystery, right? I'm doing all of these healthy things. I'm taking care of myself better than the average. And some of those average people who are taking care of themselves more on an average basis or on an occasional basis could end up living longer than me. And so like recognizing that there's no like perfect path, there's more mystery in there. And also rest and digest is really critical. Slowing down is really critical. Looking at our childhood stuff is really critical. I'll just leave it at that, right? Looking into our child, like diving in with somebody, with a trained professional who has the ability to walk us through that is really important, because otherwise energy, right? Suppressed energy, suppressed emotions will get stuck in our bodies. And mom knows that, I know that, and it's not like a maybe, like that's a reality, So so may we continue to look in the mirror with gentleness. We kept saying gentleness and compassion, right? Can each of us look in the mirror with gentleness and compassion more and more and more, rather than like criticism and judgment, not enoughness, unworthiness, right? That has to shift. So how can I start showing up in a more gentle, compassionate way toward myself? How can all of us show up? Because as we do that, we're all going to breathe deeper. our immune systems are going to function way more efficiently, and then we're going to have energy to be in this, like, a part of this web of love and give and receive and give and receive, right? Just allow that flow to move through us, from us and to others. All right. Thanks for listening to that. Other aspects of this grief journey for me is it's so unique. It's so unique. It's not the same as any other person. Like, my siblings are grieving differently. We were raised by the same parents. We have shared so many life experiences together, and we are grieving differently. So may we all, in as I'm saying that, may we all, and this has been like a huge humility dose for me, right? As I've been grieving, may we all show up when somebody is grieving, when somebody's going through a hard time. May we all show up with more humility and more curiosity. To me, that's been the most helpful to me. That's been the most helpful support, is the humble and the curious. Like, when people have come humbly and with curiosity to me and shown up for me, it's been so helpful and so healing. And again, right, the reason it's so helpful is because it's acknowledging the unique journey we all are on, right? I am not my brother, so I want him to feel safe, to process, to grieve how he chooses. I don't need, I'm feeling extremely challenged by this new reality without mom here. I'm having an extremely hard time with it. It's not enjoyable one bit. It sucks. I want her back tomorrow, today. I want her, I want her to be here with me, And yes, my brother would say the exact same thing, right? He also wants, but he had a different relationship with my mom. He is a different human being than me. He has different beliefs and philosophies and patterns of thought and emotions, right? So he's processing through it differently. And so how do I show up for my dad, my brother, my sister, all beautiful, amazing supporters in my world? How do I show up for them without needing them to be like me, or grieve like me, or process like me? Yeah. So again, I'm just curiosity and humility, right? It's just been a huge reminder to me how important those two pieces are when it comes to, like, showing up for other people, whether it's while somebody is grieving, whether it's while somebody's walking through a dark time, a depressed time, an anxious time. How can I show up with more curiosity and more humility? Because at the end of the day, I don't know what it's like to be anybody else but this guy. I know that, can we just say it one more time? You and I have no idea what it's like to be anybody else but ourselves. Like, we can love people, we can empathize with people, but we have no idea. We've never actually lived 24 hours in somebody else's mind, body, and spirit. So we do not know their answer. We do not know what they should do. We do, if they request our insights, our ideas, our opinions, then we can offer our insights, our ideas, our opinions. But those are unique to us. And so continuing to have humility and curiosity on the journey. Yeah. And so me processing through my mom and why she's no longer here. If you ask my siblings, the same thing, right? They're processing it in their own way, right? At the end of the day, and their reality, how they would express it to you, is 100% true. That's their interpretation. That's their understanding. That's how they're processing. Similar to me, like how I'm sharing right now is 100% me and true. And that's okay. They can both, multiple truths can exist, right? My sister, my brother, my dad, me, we could all have unique realities that we're walking through, unique processes that we're walking through. Whoa. All right. So I am just breathing, okay, because this is feeling raw. Thanks for being here with me. If this is your first episode, just welcome. Thanks for listening to me process. I would say, I think one thing that's been helpful here for me here the last month or so, because I really was like struggling to do much of anything in a day, for the first month and a half, 2 months. We were doing a lot of we were hanging out with a lot of family. We were very fortunate to have a lot of family time. Got to spend a lot of time with my in-laws, with my mother and father-in-law. Bob and Roseanne, had amazing times with them, with my aunt and uncle, with family out here coming in from Arizona. Like lots of healing conversations, lots of healing moments together, tears, hugs, just sitting with each other, and so very fortunate. This last month or so, I've been trying to like find my mojo, find the energy again, right? Because I feel like my legs just got taken out, like I was mom's like coach, her treatment guy, like, and mom didn't make it, like it was almost as like, I'm not a doctor, but I was in a very intentional support role for my mom, right? And so her not making it through, again, it's not on me, right? At the end of the day, I know that, right? It's not on me. Yes, I could go back and change some things, right? If I could, I would. Like I would have gone back and made some different choices in my support of mom. But guess what? I did my absolute best, and my mom did her absolute best. I did my absolute best. My dad did his absolute best. My wife did her absolute best. I did my absolute best. Mom did her absolute best. Mom really wanted to. I really felt it's so interesting to like think back, right? Because I feel like mom the mom, like Deborah the mom, Deborah the leader, Deborah the grandma, Deborah the warrior, Deborah the rock star. Deborah wanted to live, but the timeline of her soul said otherwise. The timeline of her soul's time here, the trajectory of her soul's timeline said it was her time. And so, she did her best. We all did our best, It's not on me. It's not like mom did her best. It's nothing to like, again, I'm human. So I've gone back in and I've replayed interactions with mom that I wish I could change, but that's human. That's normal. I don't need anybody to tell me not to do that. Right. It's okay to have those times where you are doing the shoulda, woulda, couldas, because it's hard to allow reality to be sometimes, right? So it's okay. It's okay to shoulda, woulda, coulda. Giving myself permission, like it's okay. It's okay if you've done that for yourself. If you've done that yourself. So it's okay. Mom did her best. I did my best. We all did our best. And mom's no longer in her physical body, and it sucks. And I'm so grateful, it sucks. And I'm so grateful because I had such a rare energy being, such a rare human to be my mom. Got to walk with one of the most incredible humans I've ever met. one of the most incredible humans I've ever met was my mom. And I got to spend 41 years plus some in utero time with her, you know? Yeah. So it's okay to feel the feelings, right? So again, this is what everybody's been telling me, right? It's okay to allow the waves to hit. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be mad. Like, I don't need to like snap out of it. I don't want to spend 15 days mad because I know what that does to my cells. I'm aware, right? I'm aware that that's not going to be good for my relationships, my friendships with people now, right? I know that I can't spend 15 days in an angry little box, angry little bubble, because of what that will do to my immune system and my heart. And also, I really have to keep allowing myself to be real, which is what I'm trying to do right here for you all. Got to be real. We're human. We're human. And we got magical bliss moments. We have magical, hopeful, excited, energized moments. And then we've got some moments where we're like, why are we alive here? This is just feels silly, right? I grow this incredible attachment to my mom and share this incredible love, you know, this give and receive love experience for 41 years. And then poof, knowing, right? So just, that's real. That's freaking frustrating. That sucks, you know? And also, my mom is infinite. We spent the whole 16 months. Mom, we're infinite energy. Like, we're infinite. We live forever and ever and ever. And our bodies may not be here as long as we want them to be, but we live forever. So we're always connected. We're always together. We're always on the, on the energetic level. We're always together. We're always walking together. So, I was going to talk about the mojo, and then I got distracted by I'm doing the best I can. My mom did the best she can, you know. Mojo. So I've the last month or so, I started kind of thinking about it like this. It's there were some specific gifts that my mom offered me that those gifts, I no longer get to experience them via my mom. But those gifts were those gifts were love, right? Those gifts that she offered were love. And so that love doesn't go away. Like, I could still access that love through other relationships, right? So the two things that mom always was really encouraging about was, the ways in which she loved me so well. One of the ways was deep listening. I said it already, right? She just was a deep listener. Like, if you got a coffee with my mom, you knew she wasn't trying to be somewhere else while she was with you. She literally was locked in and in the moment with you. Now, again, mom was a human. I'm not saying she did perfect listening all the time, right? But she was one of the best I've ever met. She was one of the best I've ever met, and was locked in, listening, dropping in. We loved share times. She would share for 5 minutes. I'd share for 5 minutes. She'd share for 5. I'd share for 5. Or I would do 30. She would do 30, right? And that share time, like, is for me, has been such a gift to have that in other relationships as well. So this last month or so, I was like, you know what? I feel like that share time gift that mom and dad, obviously, like, it's they learned it from other friends who, you know, are in the counseling and psychology world. So anyway, this share time world, there are so many beautiful beings on this journey with me that I can lock in with and still access that love, that magic, that goodness, right? So setting up a share time with a friend in Pennsylvania and like hopping on a call together, hopping on FaceTime and taking, 20 minutes each and updating each other. Hopping on the phone with a friend in New York and going back and forth, doing a share time, rotate, really get to drop in, listen well to one another, be listened to, listen to them, And so I just realized like, okay, so to get that mojo back, that's something I'm missing, right? Last night I'm out on a walk and none of my siblings didn't answer. My dad didn't answer. And my wife didn't go on the walk with me. So I was out solo and I was like, oh, geez, I really want to talk to somebody. But then I was like, oh, maybe it's meant to be that nobody's answering. Like I'm supposed to have some alone, just like be with me, And so I listened to some music and listened to a little bit of some YouTube videos and talked to one friend for a few minutes, but they were also busy doing stuff. But long story short, this share time reality didn't die. This loving, mutual, for me, these mutual connections, these mutual friendships where I'm asking how somebody's doing and I'm just listening and maybe asking some follow-up questions. And then vice versa, they're doing the same for me. Like that is gold. That is gold. Mom, thank you. Mom, thank you. Thank you for modeling that. Thank you for offering me that for all of these years. And so I've been getting a lot of energy kind of just like, that was a gift that she offered and that gift isn't gone, right? So I'm like, okay, like allowing myself to really enjoy deep connections with friends this last month. Another piece she's was always huge on was she was always supporting my dreams. Like, dream, Aaron, like you could do them all. Like make these dreams, like you could do these, like dream really big. And so like the last month, even just speaking out loud, some different dreams and goals that I have for myself has also been motivating, right? Finding safe people to share those dreams with. So I'm like working on, I've done some wellness retreats over the last 8 years through our Living Well Now Foundation. And I'm working on the Living Well Now Foundation website. And as I'm processing through that and kind of visioning and dreaming about what that Living Well Now Foundation and what those wellness retreats can look like and what offerings could be ahead of us, I'm like, in 2024, I am definitely hosting an international retreat. Like I am committed, and I just keep, saying it here, like I'm committed to doing the work that it will take to make that a reality. So that could be 8 people that I take on a body, mind, spirit wellness retreat. And I want to do 4 days, 4 nights in Paris, 4 nights in Amsterdam, and 4 nights in Barcelona, 3 of my favorite places in Europe, and create a really amazing, life-changing experience for all of us. And so just speaking about my dreams, talking about my dreams, my mom was always the first person to be like, Aaron, you could keep talking about your dreams with me. Like, I want to hear about your dreams. And so to me, that's been a really beautiful gift that she offered. And so that gift didn't die, right? I still can dream. I still can speak boldly and say like, yes, this has got to happen. I want to make this a reality. And so anyway, so I've been getting some of my mojo back, which is, led me to release this episode 44.22, because I was like, I think I need to release a personal episode, kind of updating listeners just on what I've been walking, like how I'm doing over here. And then I can get back into the flow of episode 45, episode 46, and really settle back into a flow here. So I've just been thankful here this last month, for the whole 3 months of the process, right? Of, just from feeling super dark to feeling hopeful to feeling super overwhelmed and unsure of how to move forward and move on. Even saying that, I don't like it. Moving forward. I'm not moving on. I'm moving forward. I'm going to move forward. Carrying mom with me, walking, allowing mom to continue to show up for me. I will tell you, I've had some really interesting dreams that mom has been showing up in. And even just this last week, definitely 2 nights in a row. I feel like it might have been the third 3 nights in a row, but 2 nights in a row, 100%. My mom showed up, and this has happened probably 5 or 6 times since she passed. And I'm giving her a hug, like knowing she's dying. I'm not saying, "Hey, mom, I'm going to miss you. Like, I love you. I'm going to miss you." I'm hugging her and I'm saying, I know that she's dying, and I hug her, and we just share a special moment. It's not and I also could tell, like the other night she said, "I'm not dying." Like I didn't say you're dying. I didn't tell her she was dying. I just was going in for like a hug, like a "I'm going to miss you" hug. And she's like, I'm not dying. Like and she said that many times while like throughout her diagnosis and journey with treatments and everything. I'm not dying, and again, that's that infinite for me. That download that's that infinite energy. I'm not like our awareness is so small. Like like sometimes we just gotta like, wait, mom, still hanging out with me. I freaking miss your physical presence. And also, I know you're still with me, And so anyway, these dreams, I think, are me, like, because I was in like her coach mode and she wanted me to be very positive and optimistic and hopeful all the time. I never really was like, sometimes I was a little bit in denial that mom had been given like a terminal diagnosis, that she really could probably maybe die, and so I kind of lived in a little bit of a protective bubble. Like I didn't even want to think about the possibility of mom not being here. And so I just didn't go there at all much. A few times, I got deep in therapy or with Sarah or a sibling, but so I think this dream of me hugging her, knowing she's dying, is me like, I didn't hug her like I knew she was dying, Anyway. And on that note, the hug piece is interesting because Sarah and I both remember we had gone to New York for a month, came back November 5th. And in that first 10 days of being back, 2 weeks, mom gave us hugs like I had never, like she squeezed me harder and more snug than ever before, just squeezed. And she just said, I see you and thank you. She said, I see you and thank you, and just squeezed. And it was like, to me, that, I felt it. I noticed it was different, but I wasn't thinking like, oh, this could be her saying goodbye. Like I didn't think it was that close around the corner, It was just like, no, like, no, not now, like when she hugged, it was like, it felt doesn't that feel good when somebody's like, oh my gosh, I see you, thank you, like really feel appreciated. And I think mom's soul, she wanted to make sure we both really heard that, that living with mom and dad for that for 12 months, but then like kind of hanging out pretty much daily most of those 16 months was just raw and real and intense and magical and beautiful. And I would do it all over again, and I would make little adjustments, but what a gift it was, and how fortunate to have had the opportunity to do that. That's not the norm. within the way we've structured our society and the way we're all, I mean, that's just not how things typically work out, where Sarah and I were able to really give a lot of loving attention to her. And anyway, I just feel so thankful and privileged that we had the opportunity. And was it easy all the time? No, but like, was it worth it? 100% yes. 100% yes. I'm going to close with just a few things that I think Mom would invite us to think about. Yeah, I'll just close with a few things, and I'm gonna share a screen of Mom. Let me just find this is a good photo. This is a lovely photo of my mom. So here's Mom and I hanging out, and in this at this like during this last 16 months of her life, she had difficulty like talking. You know how most of us can like talk and eat at the same time. Yeah, she couldn't. She couldn't talk and eat at the same time. And so she would sit down with you and she would say, "All right, you talk." And then I would share. And so this is us at one of our favorite places here in Encinitas, California, called Nectarine Grove. And anyway, we were enjoying a little brunch together after one of her treatments with her osteopathic doctor. So here's what I believe Mom would invite all of us to consider. Slow down and pay attention. Slow down and pay attention to the miracles, the little miracles. Slow down and pay attention to the little miracles, the earth around us, but also the people around us. Like, slow down and really pay attention to these incredible beings around us, right? On unique journeys. Like, holy moly. Like, where are we? Where are we? Like, just get, just show up, slow down, show up, be attentive, and just see the magic of right here, right now. So that'd be one piece that I think Mom would offer. I think Mom would definitely, as I think about some of her reflections over that time together, so much of it was like, just find those passions, like find your passions, find what makes you come alive, and just pursue them, go all in, and that's what Mom did. Like, when she was a counselor, she was all in, like, as a counselor. As a mom, she was all in as a mom. When she was as an entrepreneur, growing her Young Living Well Now team, all in, and I think she would invite all of us to like figure out what those passion zones are, figure out where those passions are, investigate your mind, your past, like what ignites you, what motivates you, what inspires you, and then pour in, like dive in, like love big in whatever that zone is. And yeah, whatever that zone is, like dive in and love the people you're with, love the growth journeys, the growth opportunities, just love every step. And just allow yourself to get real passionate. Allow ourselves to get real passionate. Oh, that's number 2. Mom, what's the third? What do you got? Oh, I'd say the third would be really, really dive in and look in the mirror. dive in and look in the mirror, look at our family systems, look at the past family systems, get really, really honest with ourselves, right? We don't have to repeat patterns. We don't have to. It's okay to be like, yeah, no, no thanks. Like, thanks anyway, family of origin. Thanks anyway, family of origin. That is not my story. That is not my path forward, right? Blessed that you did your best. Like, thank you for doing your best. Thank you for giving me this learning opportunity. And I'm done believing that any longer, or, continuing that habit into the future generations. Like, it's okay to get really honest and just say, no, I choose to do it differently. I'm doing it differently. I'm doing it differently. And that doesn't mean that's easy, right? Going to therapy, reading, self-help books, or, practicing meditation, or going on a nature walk while listening to peaceful Zen music or whatever, right? Whatever that healing path is for each of us. Like, Mom would definitely say, do it. Like, definitely do it. Definitely do it. Because as you heal, as Mom healed, right? As she healed during her 69 years, and this was her time to take her last breath, and and it's now continued on to the next stages of her beingness, of her energy, right? She's so thankful for the ways in which she shifted and changed. And we did a lot during, we kept talking to her mom and her dad over that 16 months, and just pouring. They are so proud of us, right? Our ancestors are so proud of us when we say no to continuing a crappy pattern. Like, they're so happy. They're so happy. They are so happy when you or I or any of us say goodbye to a thought pattern, an addiction, a perfection chase, a ego trip, right? They are celebrating, our ancestors, my mom right now, my grandma and grandpa, my great grandparents, right? My grandpa, they are all celebrating every little healing step that I take, celebrating. And in me doing it, my nieces and my nephews are less likely to repeat those stories. Yeah. And it's not about perfection, but it's about little shifts. It's about saying goodbye to old patterns and old habits, and finding a new path forward, finding a new way to walk on the earth, perhaps a more deliberate, more mindful way of walking on the earth. Because as we return to our breath, and as we slow it all down, and as we simplify, then we know that the only reason we're here is to be love, to give love, to receive love, and to grow in love and expand in love. And so I think that's my mom's final word, is that we're worth it. We're worthy of making those changes. And it doesn't mean, as I make shifts, right? Mom lived her life. And as I'm making adjustments to the way in which she showed up, right? When, my dad, me healing, me making transformations or making little shifts in how I show up in the world, they're celebrating. They're celebrating anything that increases the amount of love that I feel, or the amount of love that people around me feel, right? They're celebrating that. They want me to make the changes that I feel like I need to make, right? They want us to make, our ancestors want us to make the changes that we feel need to be made. It's not disrespectful. It is 100% respect. It is 100% respect. Thank you for giving it your all and doing your best. I've got to walk this path, right? Thank you. And I'm so grateful for all the lessons you taught me. And I got to walk this path. I'm not going to repeat the same thing, not going to repeat the stories. All right. Big love to y'all. Really grateful. Really want to play a song. I'm going to make sure I put I've got an incredible, I'll just post like 10 of Mom's favorite songs somewhere in the description. Or I just invite you to, if you haven't joined the Our Healing Voices Instagram world, I would invite you to hop on to the Instagram world of Our Healing Voices. I play a lot of Mom's favorite songs, a lot of just incredible, like life-giving songs, uplifting songs. And yeah, I am forever gonna miss Mom's dance moves, and also I will remember them forever. Right? I'm gonna miss them, and I will remember them forever. I'm just so thankful for your listening today. If you are brand new to the Our Healing Voices podcast or YouTube world, thank you for joining. This was a bit different. Usually I'm doing like I did episode 10, 20, 30, and 40. I will be back for episode 50. But I decided to do episode 44.22 because I've been MIA for a few months now, not having released an episode since October. And so I just wanted to let you all know I'm still breathing, still learning, still healing, and still hopeful that this Our Healing Voices world can be a place where we just come raw, come honest, and learn and grow together, come curious. Yeah, if you have curiosities, body, mind, spirit, wellness curiosities, shoot me a message. I would, or if you have like somebody you think that I ought to interview, that you're like, oh, or maybe you would like to be interviewed. Yeah, really, maybe you would like to be interviewed, as I'm getting back into the flow over here. And I do have episode 45 and 46 already recorded, and I have a couple people that are going to be 47, 48, and 49. So I've kind of got the next 5 episodes kind of squared away. But yeah, shoot me a message if you'd like to share a little bit about your journey and what you're walking through and how you're making your body, mind, spirit, wellness shifts on this planet. Anyway, big love to y'all. This is episode 44.22. I'm Aaron Lahman of the Our Healing Voices podcast and YouTube channel, and wishing you big love. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me. And I'm really grateful. And Mom, I'm going to keep doing this thing because I know you and I both know this gives me life, and that's important enough. And this is also one of the big reasons I'm here on the planet. So, all right. Thanks.